It's another day and we're happy to say we're single and we're healthy and we love it that way. Our melanin is popping in the morning glow, and we're about to tell you how the story goes.
Oh, hell nah.
Man, it's freezing out here.
Okay, I be with my bestie. We got the fresh tea, so tune in every Tuesday. Don't be messy. Elevate your mind, don't let none get you down, cause this is Hot Thoughts. We covered the higher ground.
We welcome you to High Thoughts. Okay. I'm your girl, Tonysha.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Leah.
And today we are talking about the expectation of women in society. So we're going to dive into like the whole expectation of the body, you know, no matter how old you get, you got to keep your body tight.
Definitely.
And come on now. Birth control, getting your tubes tied, even down to your gray hair.
Okay. So we're talking about like expectations of society, basically.
Exactly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, men, if they have like, you know, a nice full gray beard, it's like, you know, maybe sexy or he's distinguished. Yeah. And then a woman may have gray. He's a zaddy, right? Exactly. And then a woman has gray and it's like, she old.
She's just, how do they say it? She's vintage. She's a little more, that's what they like to say. I have gray hairs. I've had gray hair since I was like 21 though. And I've never dyed them. I mean, unless I just dye my hair, but like a color. But yeah, I have gray hair.
Right. She said vintage though.
I mean, you don't heard people say that, but at the end of the day, I don't like. I think it's sexy. Like I can wait, but I know I'll probably have like the salt and pepper look. Like it'll be hella sexy. I'll be looking like Storm around there, and the boys still gonna come to the yard. Okay, married a widowed. We gonna have to cut that one out. Anyway, though, there's definitely a double standard when it comes to men and women in society in general, right? Like we see all the time, you know, with just every aspect in life. So with you speaking on it, let's get into it, T. Let's go.
Let's get into it. Girl, so I was talking to a friend about a situation that happened with the singer Neo. And this article came out like years ago about his wife getting her tubes tied with the expectation, not his wife, excuse me, his ex-fiance who has 2 of his children. She was getting her tubes tied with the expectation that he was going to get a vasectomy. And as we all know, now he is happily married with another woman and they have children and all that good stuff. Right. But what that sparked for me was like, why do women always have to get their tubes tied?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, we go through the birth. Our body goes through all the changes. And then you want me to get my tubes tied? I'm not saying that it should be taken away from women, but I feel like if I were married, I want my man to get a vasectomy. I don't want to get my tubes tied. And that conversation made me think of all the other things that women have to like go through as far as like, okay, after you have children, our breast sag, we think we need to go get, you know, breast implants or our stretch marks, you know, things of that nature. But then you got these men out here who got damn beer bellies. They don't work out at all. They don't have to do anything extra to keep their physique intact. They're just getting old. But the pressure of us wanting to look like young, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I feel like it becomes strenuous when you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, keep up with someone who's 20, 30 years younger.
So do you feel like it is pressure from men that is the reason why women go to these extremes, or do you think that it is pressure from other women and the community?
You know what? As I've gotten, I think now, since it's such a societal norm, I think it's like pressure from yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I think that with social media and everything, right in front of your face, I think you look in the mirror and you compare yourself to that girl. I think it started off with pressure from men, though. You know what I'm saying? Like if a man is getting older, him wanting a younger woman. So maybe the gentleman didn't say to you like, oh, I don't want you anymore because you're older, but him, let's say, divorcing a woman and then getting with a young woman would make that woman, you know what I'm trying to say, look younger and things of that nature. And once again, I'm not putting it on the man, but I do think, especially now, society with all these different things you can do, like Botox and you know breast implants and booty implants and suction this fat out of here and move it there and yada yada yada. It makes you feel like when a woman is getting like aging naturally, that she looks too old. You know what I'm trying to say? And it's like, I feel like that can just, it's just heavy, right? It's just heavy. It has you reaching a peak or reaching something that you'll never get to, perfection. And yeah, I just don't think that is cool. But I definitely think at this point, it's a pressure that we put on ourselves. I know I've done it. I look in the mirror and I thought, I don't like that. And then I pick out a body online and I say, oh, her body looks good. I might want to look like that. You know what I'm trying to say?
But to go back to your original comment, it was about a man telling his fiance that he was with at the time that, hey, let's both mutually agree to get these surgeries done. So I guess when she got hers done, right, and he was supposed to maybe get his done soon, like I don't know, because that's a very different thing. I know for me, he would definitely have to get it done before me because it's the man who's going to impregnate me, right? So it's like, I'm gonna need you to get that done before me, son. I probably wouldn't even get it done, to be honest. Like I would want him to get it done. But that's just me. But to go back to that because is it a double standard? Like she went through with it. Maybe she wanted to get that done. Maybe she was like, I want to get my tubes tied, and because I'm done with children, I'm not having anymore. Maybe he was like, okay, cool, I'll get it done too. But not saying I never want. I don't know. I don't know what that conversation was. I wasn't there. But obviously they aren't together, and obviously he now is going on his 5th child with a new woman. So I don't know. That's a very weird thing, because when we talk about societal pressures, it's like I think that could have been just a them thing, you know?
I mean, yeah, I feel like, well, when I read up on their situation, because I was curious after having the conversation, I was like, let me see. And it was something they agreed on. And if a woman wants to get her tubes tied, it's like, cool, like do your thing. But I do think that he made her feel comfortable that he wanted to be with her and that he did not want any more children. And so in her mind, she's like, okay, well, cool. We don't want kids. I'll get my tubes tied. And then for him to go off and have children with someone else, I'm pretty sure that felt like a slap in the face to her, although ultimately it was up to her, right? There's no blurred lines there. She knew that what she was doing. But I can see how that was a tough one to see, that this man has went out and has had children with another woman. And I think like that's what I'm saying. Like when it comes down to a lot of things, and it probably is changing over time now, but just with things like that, getting your tubes tied, birth control, they're always to control the woman. And I've been thinking like, damn, like I said, I want my husband, if I was married, yo, you should get a vasectomy. That would be a serious conversation. for me. I wouldn't want to get my tubes tied. It's nothing wrong with a woman wanting that, but it typically, when the conversation comes up with men, like if you have that conversation with a man, they're typically swipe it off the table. Like, I'm not doing that. Are you crazy? What I look like not being able to have kids?
Yeah, I also think it's more of a health issue for women though too. Like some women who get their tubes tied, it typically affects other things in their body. You know what I mean? I've also heard of women getting their tubes tied and still being able to have a baby. Like sometimes I hear it's like not fully permanent, but I do know, like I know in my mother's case, you know, she would tell anybody, yeah, I got my tubes tied. And I remember she said it made her stomach bigger than it had ever had been. You know, like I guess it was something that prevented her from losing that or something. I don't know. But I know she says, like, if I could do it again, I probably wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want no more, y'all, but she was just like, you know, yeah, just what, you know, it's like still a surgery, right? You're tying up someone's internal intestine. You know what I'm saying?
Not like, intestines, girl, but your fallopian tubes.
Yeah, your fallopian tubes. Like, you know what I meant to say. Now I sound like an idiot. Like, I know the difference between a large intestine and a small intestine and flip. I know the difference, guys. Let me just say that here. Jesus.
I think that's why, like, I feel like it's interesting, and it's not something people typically talk about, right? It's just like, it's automatic, right? It's automatic that a woman is going to do this. It's you know, as far as when it comes to things in that arena, like.
Yeah, let's talk about other expectations. Like, what other expectations do you feel women have to keep up with and that maybe we shouldn't? Like, let's spice up this conversation. Like, what other expectations do you feel? Like, I know for me, okay, when I have a man, there's no type of, there's no typical, like, I'm cooking and cleaning type of girl. Like, yeah, I may clean up, but cooking, I typically find men who like to cook and who love feeding me. And that is a love language for Leah, okay? Feed me, baby.
Let me tell you.
So that to me that's an expectation that I feel like a lot of people have thrown out the door. I think we talked about this on episodes past, right? Where it's like, that's just not the typical person these days, right? Like, and some men nowadays are stay-at-home fathers. Like certain expectations I feel like have been, you know, just switched, right? Like certain roles have been switched, but I don't know, what other expectations do you speak?
Well, with the cooking and cleaning thing, I've never had a man that could cook. So it's funny because that's been like an argument in my life because I don't like to cook. So it's kind of like, you're the woman. I'm like, yo, I don't care. Like, I'll clean, I'll cook when I feel like it, dog, but I'm not cooking all the time. I'm sorry.
That's me.
Like,
I feel like it.
If I feel like it, right? Like, I'm not, nope.
But I can, that's the crazy thing. I can actually cook. Sometimes I just don't want to cook for people. I'll be like, I don't want to cook for you.
I feel you. Like, I totally feel you on that one. So, no expectations in the workplace. And this is just from hearing my aunts talk about it. You know, they're women in their late 50s, early 60s, and I've heard them say things like, you go into work and because you are an older woman, they feel like you may not have your wits about you or you may not be able to function, girl. I've heard, like, it's a real thing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right? And the person judging them is a man their age. So that's a wave too. And it's like, when she told me that, I was like, are you serious? She was like, no, I'm really serious about this. She was like, I think she's like 58. She's like, I'm a 58-year-old woman. And they feel like, you know, they will hire younger thinking that this young lady may be smarter. And you're like, but I have 50, you know, I have 40 plus years of experience in this arena. So And as for if you see an older man, you think he may walk with wisdom. You know, he walks with, and once again, it's not something that's placed on a man. I just think that these are things that have built up over time. That's why we have a woman's month, right? Because we've been suppressed and just throughout different things. You sit at home, you cook, you clean, and that's it.
Right.
So, you know, it's still a few of those things. A lot of men get it now, though. A lot of men understand, like, yo, we out here moving mountains. But for the ones who don't, or when it's beneficial to them to shut it down, they will, you know?
Yeah.
So you have that. But let's get into expectations in the bedroom. Do you think there are expectations in the bedroom?
Yeah. Duh.
Lay it on me.
Yeah, for real. I mean, I guess it just depends on what you speak of, right? So yeah, you know, especially when you're first intimate with someone, right? When it's a new situation, you have expectations because you like, I hope it's not trash. That's really what you're thinking, because although somebody may physically look good, right? This is male or female. Like, sometimes what they coming with is whack. You like, what is this whack sauce you just gave me? Like, I did not ask for this. I need a refund ASAPingly. Like, act like this night never happened. But no, yeah, there are definitely expectations. I think, you know, men, oh my gosh, that is the crazy, like, especially the, you know, I don't know, I don't want to get too deep into it, but when you find a guy who's a quick pumper, or he's all this talk, he got a lot of talk game, and he's like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna handle that, and I'm gonna make that ass mine, you know, whatever he's talking about. And then you get to it, and you're like, no, that was 5 minutes. What's going on? We about to fight.
So wait, do you think that in the bedroom, women have more of an expectation of the man versus the man of the woman?
No, I think it's both. Like I said, like it could go male or female, and that's why I said that. Like, there are women who will be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this, daddy, and I'm gonna handle you." Blah, blah, blah. Like, it'd be all types of things going on, right? I've heard it, right? Right. Yeah, because that could be trash too. Like, you know, that's a lot of things. Like, I think there are expectations for both, right? Like, we both want to be satisfied, which is why we're here, right? If I'm jumping into bed with you, I want to be satisfied, you know, and if I'm not satisfied, I'm going to be disappointed. So my expectations are just out like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm mad because if I didn't get satisfied. So yeah, there's definitely expectations. What do you think? Like, what are your I guess more so, let's just say, like, I guess it's more like, what are your expectations in the bedroom? My estimate, dog. I don't know. I want everybody knowing all this about me. I think I'm gonna just let you talk.
I mean, as far as the bedroom, like, you know, oh, look, I just need you to be all that you say you are. And I'm the type of girl that...
I like that, Tonysha. Army, that's like Army strong. What be all you could be. That's what you need to do when you come to me. I like that. Ooh, that's our new slogan. Okay, be all you could be when you come step to me.
Seriously.
Because if you ain't, what? You getting dismissed real quick. We ain't got time. We know our value, okay? And if you wasting it, we gonna say bye. We gotta go. We got other things to do because there's other people on my line and who might be about something. And if they not, I'm gonna leave them too. Come on.
Yeah. I just feel like I do have expectations. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, if we're getting down and dirty, like, show me what you're working with, and I'm definitely going to give you the floor, because I can be selfish at first, because I just feel like this is when I become like, we gotta do so much anyway. Show and prove. Like, go ahead, Big Daddy. What you working with? And yeah, that's kind of how that works for me. Because I do know some women who, you know, oh, you don't be doing this, and this. I ain't look though. It's also like the energy of the man. Like if the man is good and he brings you in, oh yeah, then we flipping. Then we doing everything, because how can you not? It's good.
Right.
You got all the moves. We doing acrobats. We doing everything. I'm with it. I'm not gonna turn you down now.
Right. Seriously. No, especially when it's like it's real passion behind it. Like you can feel it. You can tell when something like has no passion and when something has passion. So yeah, expectations they're high, but you don't want to make them too high. You know, like I'm not thinking porn star stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing like that, to be honest, because sometimes it looks crazy to me. You know, that's a whole nother episode. We're gonna talk about what channels we're into, but but no, like I'm not expecting that. I just want something that's good. You know, that's it. Something
no, 100%.
Definitely got to be considerate. So that's all.
Yeah. As long as that's what. 100%. If it flows both ways and it works, the energy's right, it's good. If you are whack,
we ain't throwing it back. Period.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to just get. Yeah. So.
All right. Moving
on. But that one went. That's like a win for the guys as far as like putting pressure on them. They would be like, "Yo, nah, that's harder for us. Y'all ain't gotta worry about nothing." So yeah, I feel like that may be a win for them on that one. You feel me? But yeah, let's move on. Let's move on past the bedroom, and let's get into motherhood. We all know motherhood has a hell of a lot of expectations. We do know there are a lot of stay-at-home dads these days, which is great. Yeah. But
more dads. I love it.
You said what?
You said more daddies stepping up to the plate. I love to see it.
Yeah, it's awesome. It really is. But then of course, you do have the women who are still together, married, couple, whatever, and they're like, yeah, man. Even like with this virtual school, I leave to go to work, he leave, and the kids are just there. And it's like, well, you had a day off. Why didn't you stay home with the kids? And he's looking at you like, you left, so I left. And that's where the expectation of like, you're the mother, you need to be home with the kids. Or I can go out and party with my friends, but you need to see if I'm doing anything tonight. You know what I'm trying to say? Have you ever seen that happen with like your cousins and stuff?
I mean, I've seen it happen with my mother. Like, you know what I mean? I've definitely, that's definitely happened. But I you know, there again, yes, I totally agree. And I also, what I dislike, because I hear a lot of people say it, and I've even heard girlfriends say it about their boyfriend's kids. They'll be like, oh, my boyfriend has to babysit his kids tonight. And I was like, so you mean he has to watch his kids tonight? He's watching his kids tonight. He's with his kids tonight. However you want to say it, it's not babysitting, child. It is, those are the kids that came from him and a woman. She ain't babysitting them. Them her kids, okay? So those are his kids that he needs to watch tonight. Ain't no babysitting. That's the person you pay.
You better preach. Seriously. Look, it's been so many situations where I'm like, when they say, oh, I have to ask. And I'm like, ask? Okay, you said he didn't work tonight. You said he ain't doing nothing tonight. What you asking for?
What are you talking
like? And when I say with kids, like when they be like, oh, I have to ask their father if he doesn't mind watching the kids, and you're like, what are you asking? So, and that's why I have to like mind my business, because I'm like, I don't think you should have to ask. I think it should be more of a, hey babe, I know you typically, if you're in a relationship, you know what each other, you know what y'all doing. So it's like, oh, hey babe, I'm going out with Leah tonight. The kids have been fed, yada yada yada. I'll see you a little later. We're going here. If that's however you operate. But I think it's really strange, like you said, when it's like, do you mind watching your kids tonight?
Right.
Huh? They yours.
Right.
You know, but they expect us to like be home or to change up all our plans, because I've been in it so many times where girls are like, oh yeah, I can't go out tonight because he got something else to do, or something came up with his mama, or woo woo woo. I be looking like, tell him take his kids with his mama then.
Sometimes that's how it be, right? You be like, please take them kids to your mama.
Yeah.
No, but that is always very interesting. I always wonder how it is, because single mothers, I'm not a mother, but I grew up with a single mother, and I understand what that's like. You know what I'm saying? Just as far as when you don't have someone to watch your kids. And hopefully, luckily for our situation, me and my brother were old enough to like watch ourselves, like, at a certain age, right? Like you're like 10 or something. And then when my little brother came along, we were able to watch him, because we were already teenagers. But yeah, like, how has that been for you, right? Like those expectations of you having someone who doesn't even have to worry about it because you always got it.
Because I broke up with my baby daddy at 18. Like I had my son at 17. I was done with him by 18. Because he showed me that he just wasn't committed to anything. But there's a few incidents that I had that really made me come up with this conclusion. One, I'll never forget, I was going out with my friends, and he comes in the house, and I said, oh, okay. I'm like, cool, you made home. I had told him early, and I'm like, you made home great. I fed the baby's laying down, yada, yada, yada. And I'm in college and I'm working. And he says to me, oh, I'm not watching the baby. And so I said, we'll see about that. And if you know me, Leah, I was definitely a wild one. So when he said I'm not watching the baby, I looked at him and I said, we'll see about that. So my friend pulled up, and when she pulled up, so childish. Literally, I ran out the door, like sprinted. So he was like, where the fuck are you going? I'm like, fuck you. I'll never forget. I hopped in the car. My friend's like, what's going on? Because he's outside trying to check. So he's like, what's going on? I said, don't worry about it. Just go. Just go.
Right.
Just drive. Don't even worry about that man. Who that? We don't even know him. That was one situation. And then another situation.
You can't just pass that. So you just left the baby. You left baby Twan. And you came back, he was good, obviously, because he's 13 now, so he was good.
Oh yeah, like I'm not that mother who's like, oh my God, I left and he was mad, so he might hurt my child. I knew that he wouldn't hurt my child. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not that type of man. Mm-hmm. So I knew the baby would be good. But boy, oh boy, was he tight when y'all got back, and I felt liberated.
The visual.
Don't you ever tell me what you.
The visual of you sprinting to the car is what has me, like, I'm dying inside. Like, that's hilarious.
When I tell you, it looked so crazy. It did. It felt crazy. But I just remember feeling like I said, I was going to school, I was working, and he expected me any downtime I had was just supposed to be dedicated to the baby, which 100% it was. That's my child. I get it. But this child has two parents for a reason. Why the hell can I go see a movie or go out to dinner with one of my friends? Why can't you watch the baby? And at first he started off like that, really attentive on top of it. And then girl went out the window. But yeah, the visual is funny because the visual go like this. I'm holding the baby had woke up, so I'm holding the baby, but I'm dressed. I'm ready to go. I'm dressed. So I tell him take the baby because I knew my friend about to pull up. So I tell him take the baby. And then I looked out the window. She was out there, and I just, And so he got the baby. He like, where are you going? I said, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. He's like, that's fucked up. Okay. You won't be mad forever.
So what's the second scenario?
And then the second scenario was me. I was going to college and I had to take my baby in a snowstorm to do my damn assessments, my tests, my exams, my exams. And he was supposed to come watch the baby. And he told me, take the baby with you. And I was like, to my test? I guess that was payback for what I did. So he was like, take the baby with you. And I feel like that's why it's like certain situations with the whole expectation thing is like, because it's like, yo, if this isn't balanced or if we're not working together, this ain't gonna work. This isn't going to work. That's probably why I don't have any more children now. The fear that the whole load will be dumped on me, and being left as a single mother, and just those fears of like, you want to grow with someone, you want to raise your child with someone, and you don't want a man who just thinks that, yo, you're the mother, so yeah, I might work and pay the bills, but everything else you figure it out. I ain't with that.
Yeah.
Like, I want to feel like a team. Want some team action here.
So when we speak on expectations, do you feel like in dating and in relationships, like, or maybe just in the dating phase, should we even have expectations of people? Like, should we just, I don't know, like, because when people say go with the flow, I used to say that, right? It's like, oh yeah, go with the flow. But it's like, yeah, go with the flow, but it's like, go with the flow of what things are feeling in the moment. But most of the time you're not going with the flow. You know what I mean? Like, you're making things happen. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, even that person is making things happen. Like, you going with the flow, you're going to end up floating alone, When
I typically say like go with the flow, I feel like for me, that means opening up about when your feelings are starting to change. Like, that's what go with the flow for me means. Like, you start off just liking, and then if that turns to something else, I would hope that you would open up and say, look, I'm starting to feel you a little more. I'm starting to care about you because like, it's little levels to this shit. So I'm starting to care about you a little more. I like to be around you, like, and just getting each other like comfortable with it. But then on top of that, like, expectations, it's crazy because I don't think we should have any of each other, because that shit, how can you expect something from someone? Yeah. But I do think when you tell people what you want or what you're looking for, they will try to do it with some things, right? Like, I don't know, like especially if it's, you said what?
If that person likes you enough, like, because you'll even do it. Like, only time I know I change certain things is if I like the person enough. Like, I'll be like, okay, I like you a little bit, so I'll compromise, because I don't, I used to be a person who believed that compromising was me giving up something, but now I look at compromising as, something different. I look at it more like, I'm going to compromise this because, like, I care, like, I try not to look at it as like I'm giving something up in order to do this, because that's how I used to be so selfish with my time. And now I feel like I try to give it more. And that's why I know for me, my expectations, I get frustrated because I'm like, you expected this from me, so I expect this from you. I expect this from you. But now I'm like, yeah, like, I'm frustrated because I compromise. Like, and I just learned to do this. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, so, again, like, in the dating relationship, expectations, like, yeah, you naturally are going to have them, but like you said, we shouldn't expect Like I know I was talking to this guy one time, and I remember I was so annoyed, and I was annoyed that he didn't open up my doors. And somebody was like, girl, don't nobody do that. That's so old school. And I was like, well, I really must be like, I must have like, I just like to be courted. You know what I mean? Like, I like when somebody cares and pays attention. You know what I mean? Like, even opening my door, like, that's the thing for me. Like, especially if we're going somewhere, if we're at a restaurant and I got to open the door, oh, I'm already putting a slash on your name. Like, one. You know how you do like the tally mark? That's me. I'm saying that annoys me, like, because I expect that. And that was all, it was like a downfall of our relationship because I had a lot of expectations for things because I was used to a certain way of being treated. And I was like, oh, you're not treating me how I'm supposed to be treated. But also that's when you know you got to get the fuck up out of there. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, that's how you know you got to go, because if it's okay if they don't meet a couple of like things that you know that you are about. But I feel like when they miss all of the points, no, even if they nice, you gotta go, because you're not going to be the one that I want, especially if you're dating for a relationship. In the past, I guess there were certain things I didn't care about because I was just dating to have fun. Like, I want to date a guy who I'm gonna have fun with. That was my mentality, 4 or 5 years ago. Now it's different. Like, I'm dating because I'm like, I have an expectation that we're getting something out of this, because we're going to have that conversation day one, right? We're going to be like, why are you dating? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not asking you to marry me. I'm not asking you, hey, do you want to get married? No, but I'm definitely asking, like, why are you dating? Like, why are you out here? What are you looking for? And then as things progress, like, yeah, my expectations are going to grow higher because we've already talked about things if we're continuing to talk.
No, I mean, there's 2 points I want to touch on. The one, as far as expectations of like opening the door and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. When I would travel with the band, the majority of the band were men.
Right.
And I would have to get my bag from underneath the tour bus. And I would get upset. Like, why isn't any man helping me? It would like frustrate me. So one day I was like, damn, nobody's going to help me. Like, for real, I'm a whole woman out here. And one of my cousins said, he was like, oh, I have no problem helping. He said, but women have this thing now where they almost be like, oh, I got it. And he's like, so now I wait for a woman to tell me what she wants. Because he's like, this whole like, and it's the way men describe it can come off harsh. Because I'm looking at him like, don't be an asshole. But he's like, this whole like woman, like, I'm strong, I can do anything, I can climb, I can box, I can do anything. He's like, y'all act like y'all don't want our help. Like, if we help, it comes off as, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe like y'all some suckers or something. I don't know. And I had to clear it up with him like, oh, no. You can help me with my bag. That's not a problem. You can help me with my bag, you open my door. I like all of that. And I think in this day and age, although it may seem weird, like, that might be something that you have to tell someone, like, yo, I like my door to be open. I know some guys would be like, that's stupid. Why would you have to tell someone that? I
did tell him that. And then he realized it after, like, oh, yo, you're so right. I definitely told him that, but it was other things too. Like I said, I had a checklist going on. But we were talking, I was talking to this person for like months, like, so it was other things he was doing. It was just, that was something that kept irking me. I was like, gee, if I got to open up this door one more time, I used to just stand there just to see. So, yeah.
I mean, that's small too. Like, opening the door, things of that nature. I think that's small. I think that's like a piece of cake. I mean, and I would hope my son would do that for any woman, right? That's a gentleman.
But that the second have like regular manners to me. Like, if you don't naturally do that for random people, like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't just about me. Like, it was just like, if you were around my mom, she would be disgusted. Like, Leah, he did not open my door. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. Like, and I'm not dating for my mom, but I'm just like, that's embarrassing to me. Like, I was embarrassed. Just how like there's certain things that would embarrass a man that if their woman did, it embarrasses me if I have to do that and my man is standing right there. You know?
No, I totally get it. I totally get it. And like I said, I think that's just an easy point. You know what I'm trying to say? It's an easy point. And also I do think that women, you know, for our easy little points, you know, we should do it too. Like, you know, fixing a plate. Although I've been away about that, but you know, fixing a plate, that's easy. Yo, if the dinner's done, you can say, hey, I knew you were gonna do that. But it is easy. It's simple. It doesn't take, if you fixing your plate, why wouldn't you fix his plate? You know what I'm trying to say? And if he expressed it to you, like, babe, why you ain't fix my plate? Then you say, okay, well, baby, I'll fix your plate next time. That's an easy.
Right. If he wants that, then cool. I would make a plate. That's not a big deal.
That's exactly. That's meeting in the middle. And
compromise, right? It's like, I know he likes that. Let me do it.
Right. Touching on the compromising, my last relationship was really challenged in that arena because, you know, me touring and being in a relationship, the person, it was hard for them to handle that. Mm-hmm. But that is where I actually stood there and said, look, I love you very much. And there's a lot I will do for you. But if you want me to stop touring, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And if that results in us not being together, then that's what it will be. And I felt selfish about it. I do think compromising is important, but I never think compromising at the expense of your happiness or later on down the line resentment, because you know what I'm trying to say, that could turn into resentment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I knew for me, that's what that was going to fester up. So I was like, I can't do it. And when I talk to other women about it, they're like, girl, you should have had that baby. And you should, and I was like, it wasn't what I wanted at the time. And I would have been lying to myself, to him, if I would have went that route. Like I said, I believe in compromising. I think it's a real thing. I think that, but it has to be healthy for the person who's doing the compromising as well. You know what I'm saying? It just can't fuel one individual, because now the relationship is lopsided. So just the expectation of thinking that because you don't like it and you tell the person expecting them just to change it now, that's not guaranteed. Mm-hmm. And so that's where, like, my situation, it got real crazy, girl. Real like almost like, oh, you serious? You really not gonna budge on that? And I was like, oh, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. I'm like that's just like me saying like, oh, Leah, you gotta move back to Tallahassee if you want to be with me. You'll be like, oh no. Nah. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, there's a lot I do for you, but that ain't one.
Yeah, there's about nobody that I would do that for, especially in that city. Yeah. Okay. No, I feel the same way. And like you said, the whole giving up, that's why I try not to look at compromising as giving up something, because I'm not going to give up something that I love, of course. You know, it's gonna be something that works for both of us. Like you said, even the whole, you know, whether it's I make your plate or if you like it when I run your bath, like, I don't know, maybe I whisper sweet nothings in your ear late at night because that's what you like, and you like when I rub your back. And I play a song that no one knows that you like. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, guys be into really kinky shit when they homeboys ain't around. Okay, so expectations, guys. Yeah, you know, we're just moving right along with all of this. And no, but like we said, I think there's always going to be that double standard, the expectations from men, and even double standards and expectations for women, right? Again, we are dealing with the situation of men allowing themselves to be more emotional, and people allowing themselves to, we can no longer say stop acting like a girl. You can't say that because people have feelings, people have emotions, you can't say that shit. So I
expecting a man to act like a man or to be macho, and whatever that looks like, to be confrontational or to jump, you know what I'm saying? Like, or like all that. Yeah. You're totally right. Men have emotions and they cry and they battle situations just like us. And that's like, it has to be worked out on both ends. Like, we have to work on that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It does. But I also think that men need to be gentle on women too, because yes, you think a woman is strong and you think we can do anything because we bear children. No, give us some grace. Give us, give us that time to figure it out. There are women who, after they have kids, they have postpartum depression. I don't know if you went through that, but it's like, men don't understand that. They're like, why aren't you loving our kid or whatever it is? Like, I know friends who have gone through that, and it's like, man, like, they can't express that to their man. Their man will never understand what that feels like, to have something come out of your body and you can't fully love it, So it's like, men have to give us that grace and have to understand that, yes, we are highly evolved beings, and I've always believed that women are definitely more evolved than men, right? So we're bearing the children, we're keeping you together, okay? Like, we're keeping your emotions in check, we're keeping the kids' emotions in check, ourselves, like, you know what I'm saying? We're running the house, we're taking care of a lot of things. It's hard to do a lot of, like, you realize that when you are sitting at home. I think a lot more people are sitting at home during quarantine and being like, man, my woman does so much, man, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you have to give it up. This is why doing this episode during Women's Month is amazing, because we can big up women and say that we're proud of you, right? Every woman out there, I know from my mouth and Tonysha's mouth, we are very proud of you. You are doing a great job. Keep doing a great job. Keep fighting this good fight. One day we will have full equality, and until then, we're going to keep acting like we do, and we're going to keep pushing forward, and we're going to keep taking names and kicking ass and taking these positions that they don't want us to have, and sitting at these tables that they don't want us to sit at. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are a woman. They should hear you roar. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed of your body. Don't be ashamed of your mind, your thoughts. Express that. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is such an important, I know we kind of, like I said, we dived in so many different places, but with the expectations, that's where it came from. Us just being like, man, there are so many expectations on us as women, like, and we need to talk about it. You know what I mean? I think this might be a little series that we do, so we're gonna have to work on it. But like, there gonna be some things we're gonna have to tap into. But yeah, women are awesome. You know what I mean? Like, that's why men don't know what to do. Like, they get, it's so many of it. We're so beautiful. Like, I get it. It's tough. It's tough.
We are amazing. And when we do have an amazing partner next to us, I mean, then it's
amplified.
It's a force. Yeah. It's amplified. It's a force, right? It's amazing to see love. It's amazing to see Black love. So all that we encourage, we love, but for a woman to feel grounded, like you said, and to be in these positions that we weren't in back in the day, and it was, we're listening from the door and left at home, like, yeah, we're on top of our shit. And with that being said, men, embrace it. Don't become afraid of it. Don't think, oh, because I'm a CEO at this company that I don't want the door open for me, because like I said, they get it kind of twisted. It's like, no. I want to be treated like a woman.
Yeah.
My salary may be bigger than yours, but it's all good, baby. If I'm out on a date with you, I'm feeling you, but treat me like a lady.
Yes. I love it. I heard this thing. I was listening to the I Am Athlete podcast. Shout out to them. They did a I Am Woman's edition. Well, it was like a few episodes where they did I Am Woman, and they allowed their wives and other wives and fiancés and ex-wives of former players, basketball and football. They came on and they were talking, and this one woman, her name is Mishi Marshall. She said, I know I like her name, Mishi. But she was saying, because the guy was saying, it was a question asked, and they said, would you pay for the first date? And she was like, no. And the reason I wouldn't is because of, all of these things. Like she was naming a whole bunch of things, but what she said was, I'm a woman, and yes, if I'm a single woman, I can handle this, I can do this, and I can do that. But if I have a partner, right? If I have a partner, then I don't have to do that. I could be more submissive. I can be soft. I can be loved. I can be courted. You know what I mean? And when she said that, it spoke to me because I was like, that is so true. Like, we are independent and strong and all this, but I don't have to be all these. I don't have to be, just independent. I could be independent and still be with you. Yes, of course. I think I should be. I should be my own person. But also when I'm with you, I can be more soft. You know what I mean? Like, and I can be more just, like I want to be loved and I want to love you too. Like, so I don't know, when she said that, it just kind of spoke to me. Y'all should check out their podcast. I really like their podcast. And I like that they brought on the women, because most people always are hiding their women. You know what I mean? Like, especially athletes, like the fact that they were, giving them their platform with their fans, because they have such a huge audience as players or former players. I just thought that was, I don't know, I just thought it was really cool. So.
No, that is cool. And that's where I think it got confusing at one point where, if a woman said, I'm independent, I can buy my own car, I can, keyword I can buy my own food, I can do this, I can do that. That has nothing to do with a man. Like, you can step into my life and you can assert yourself as a man. And if you want to take that over, like, cool. Like, that's all a discussion. That's all of, like, go ahead, baby.
Yeah.
That's what, that's what you want to do.
Yeah, like, you should want that. You should want a woman who can do it on her own. So then guess what? It does not all fall on you. If you want a real partnership, why wouldn't you want your woman to be able to, you know what I'm saying? Like, handle that. Like, why wouldn't you want a strong woman? I hear when people say, oh, I don't want no weak woman. I don't want a woman who depends on me for this, this, and that, or whatever. But at the same time, they do. There are a lot of men who don't want, and I don't want to say it's weak, but they don't want their women doing certain things. They don't want them working or doing, like heavy lifting or whatever that may be. I don't know. It's a lot of a conversation.
It is, and it can go deep, but I think that's where the balance comes into play. Like, I think that's why when you have certain situations where they sit down and say, okay, look, I'm pretty sure a lot of people in this day and age sit down and have that, like, okay, babe, so I like to cook. And, oh, well, I don't like to cook, but I'll clean. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure, like, people have these things and they're like, okay, and I'll pick up the kids. And the woman might be like, okay, I'll pick up the kids Friday night. And the husband's like, okay, I'll cook Friday night. And, like, it's a lot of that going on and finding out what's healthy for you. And I do think there are some men who don't want a woman who can do those things. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you are looking for something in particular, that is fine. Like, I don't think you have to have no, do what works for you. That's what brings you joy. Society, you cannot go off of their expectations of you. If you want your man to sit at home and take care of the kids, great. Like, that's what you want, but because, that's, that don't fit into what is typical. But it's like, nah, man, if that's what you vibing with, if that's what you love, like, yo, you got to do what warms your heart. And we can definitely, there's always a fight. But now women can really have a say so on a lot of these things. And men, a lot of men are embracing it. Like, a lot of men are like, all right, cool. Well, if he's an understanding person or if he's with it and he's moving with the times and how things are progressing, he's probably like, I bet I like that. Let's rock with it. Or let me see if I can handle that. Because you never know what you can handle until you handle it.
Until it approaches. No, 100%.
So in honor of Women's Month, we wanted to give y'all a little high thoughts history lesson. So I'm gonna get into it. Let me get the article because I found this really intriguing, Leah. So the lady's name is Maggie Lena Walker. She was born in 1864. She was the daughter of slaves. And she worked with her mother after her father died. But on her journey, she became an entrepreneur and founded an insurance company for women. In 1903, she started the St. Luke Penny Savings Bank in her native Richmond, Virginia, becoming the first woman to charter a bank in U.S. And the goal was to encourage saving and economic independence in the Black community. She also held other prominent positions, including vice president of Richmond chapter of National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. As for the Penny Savings Bank, a merger spawned and Consolidated Bank and Trust, which existed until it was bought by Premier Bank in 2009. Till then, it was believed to be the oldest continuously owned Black bank in the U.S. I never heard of that.
Me
either. But finding out things like that is super encouraging. It's like, oh, well, damn. You know, we do amazing things anyways, but that's pretty dope.
And what year was that again?
It all began in 1903.
1903. Okay, cool.
1903, yep. And it was sold off to Premier Bank in 2009. So I think that's pretty dope. And that was Maggie Lena Walker. And this is High Thoughts History.
Thank you guys again for joining another episode of High Thoughts. We appreciate you. We love you guys. Like literally, it's becoming a love. And I'm really starting to just really enjoy this process, because I know at first it was weird for me because I'm usually a very private person. So this is cool, and I enjoy coming back and talking to you guys every week. So I hope you guys enjoy coming back every week and listening to me and Tonysha. And we just appreciate you guys. And yeah, stay tuned every Tuesday. You know what to do. Okay, peace.